Hello, everyone. Thank you so much for coming to Birth Your Vision podcast. And I'm your host, Hannah Kukwali. It's a real pleasure to have you here today. Thanks for joining me. And today, on today's episode, I am joined by the wonderful Neeta. She's going to be telling us about her amazing story. So I am so excited to welcome her to today's podcast. And today she's going to be sharing her journey from corporate life to inspiring women to take a balanced approach to success in life. So just before I invite her to speak, Nita is a former business consultant who used to advise large corporations, but now she is a holistic business strategist, bringing to you a passion of knowledge sharing, her expertise of change, especially in management, accounting, marketing, and business process improvement, as well as SMEs. She believes in taking a holistic approach to business, which has actually led to so many success and also building amazing solid foundation. But after so many years of working in corporate life, she has been made redundant for 3 times, and she's going to be sharing that story with us. Nita, was offered the chance to become her own boss when a large corporation saw the value she could bring, and they were not disappointed at all. But now she is coaching. She is an amazing coach, coaching. She's now doing coaching business to actually ignite the fire and passion back into many of her clients' businesses. She runs the amazing Success Accelerator framework, and she's able to help so many, women and men in business to help them actually really ignite their fire. And she's also an independent tropic skincare ambassador, and I'm so excited to hear more about her amazing pampering services online as well as offline. So, without further ado, please welcome my amazing guest, Nita. Thank you so much for being on the show today.
Thank you very much, Hannah. Thank you for the opportunity, and it's been quite a journey actually. And thank you for making it such a smooth one as well. So thank you.
You are absolutely welcome. Thank you so much, Nita. Your journey is really fascinating, very incredible, and also quite challenging. You've had the ups and the downs, but you are a woman of resilience. That is what really describes Nita. You've had to work in corporate life for a long time, managing different types of businesses, but then you were made redundant. So tell us a little bit about your story so that we can really get a real good snippet of what your journey has been like.
Thank you very much, Hannah. Well, it all started when I was about 24, where I just qualified as an accountant, and my manager, who gave me a promotion, which was great, but then she said, "You won't get anything better elsewhere." Now, that kind of brought the rebel out of me because I was thinking, "You just killed my moment of excitement." And so I actually moved on, and where I was expecting to go into accountancy, I actually went into software consultancy at the age of 24. Um, and it gave me, such a wide range of experience in different industries, from apparel, retail, manufacturing, service, to small to medium to the largest corporations. And when I was made redundant for the third time, I tell you what, it was like being dumped from the honeymoon. Straight after the honeymoon, I was absolutely rock bottom. And when COVID hit, I was actually relying on my existing network to actually continue business. But you mentioned earlier that I had the opportunity of a corporation where I was continuing to work through my redundancy because I'm very passionate about serving clients and customer satisfaction, and they saw value in me that I didn't, because my self-esteem during that redundancy period was literally rock bottom. And so I just put all my passion and all my experience into it. It was absolutely fascinating. But when it comes to me, in fact, I became my first customer because I needed to get out of my comfort zone. I needed to be, there's so much competition out there. And I was thinking, how can I be unique? And so what I did is actually went back to my roots to say, well, who am I?
Yeah.
What are my values? What do I enjoy? But what does the world need? And so that was the birth of the Success Accelerator, where I've actually taken all my 20 years of experience into an agile framework which is what I use today.
Absolutely amazing. I mean, I really love your perseverance. Imagine being told by your manager that, this is it for you. You understand, but you decided to take that on your stride and really push forward and create an amazing coaching business for yourself. Success Accelerator framework to actually take people from A to B. Tell us a little bit about that.
And say, it probably comes from my accountancy experience in taking a holistic approach to success, in that it's not just about the numbers, because over time people want to, it comes from the balanced scorecard approach, where it's, you've got to look at customer satisfaction, you've got to look at your market value, and there's so many aspects. And so I wanted to, when I looked at my experience, it's a case of, well, actually, yes, I've got accountancy experience, but I've got process improvement experience. I've always worked with sales and marketing, and I've been on marketing courses. So I've got all this experience, and so taking that holistic balance approach is what builds those solid foundations. And so there's 5 P's. I want to look at the persona, which is, what is your persona code? Which, basically what makes you and breaks you. I'm very passionate about the well-being of the business owners, and so I put the business owner first to say, where are you at? Where are you setting boundaries within yourself? So I kind of go for the persona. Then it's a case of, who are the people that you interact with within your business? Are they taking you forward? Do you know who your ideal client is? And I kind of guide them through that. And then it's how to stamp your presence in the market. And then I bring into the accountancy in terms of your cash pool and how to spice up your profits. And each of the P's is gone into an acronym within itself. So it's bite-sized chunks, so that it's agile enough to say, if the customer needs to, if they want to focus on their marketing, we can go on to the marketing. If they want to look at their client spread because they want to increase their clients, we can go there. So, because every client's different, and I want their experience to be unique to them. And so that's the Success Accelerator framework model.
That sounds really awesome. I mean, I love the fact that it's very robust. You've got different elements in the framework to actually help small to medium-sized businesses, at the beginning, as well as, in the middle stages of their business, which is really amazing. Many women are driven by purpose. They're driven by ambition, and they're driven by their life experiences. What are you driven by, and what is your why?
My why, the thing that gets me up every morning, is to see a smile on people's faces. The power of sharing my knowledge and having a positive impact is that transformation, because all this experience that I have, and again, I'm saying I was my first customer when I went on, onto the coaching, and I actually reached out to people to say, can I shadow you, so I can actually see what it's like. The help wasn't there. And so I want to help women, and not necessarily in coaching, but to say, if you're stuck in your business and you need someone to hold your hand, to guide you, then that's what I'm here for.
Yes,
and
absolutely.
so it's, so my why is to share my knowledge, but to have that positive transformation, and hold, to hold the hand of the business owners, because that's something that I felt that I was, when I was lost, I wish I had someone to do that for me.
Absolutely. I think it's so key for us to be able to share value, to be able to support somebody else who is just starting at the beginning of their business, and also to actually offer help. And I love the fact that you're able to actually shadow somebody else, because sometimes we need to be able to, find a way for us to be able to learn, to grow our skills, our knowledge. And sometimes we may not have enough resources to be able to do that. But if we have somebody else who's already done it, I think it's so important for us to learn how we can actually partner with the person and also shadow what they are doing, because it's only going to make us better, in terms of business women as well. So that's really super amazing. Thank you so much for sharing that with us. Tell us more about how did you feel, being made redundant for like 3 different times. It must have been quite hard. You must have hit rock bottom. I mean, how was your self-esteem being through that procedure 3 different times? If you can just share that with us and how you were
Yeah.
able to overcome it.
Well, in fact, I talked about this to my husband over the weekend, and I actually had forgotten the very first time. It happened in 2009, for
Mm,
the first time after working for the company for about 11 years. And he said to me, it's funny, it's like pregnancy, when you go into labor, I kind of forget all the pain because you've got this lovely thing that, the child. So it was a bit like that. So, okay, I kind
yeah.
of pushed all the pain. But he said, I was literally lost for word and I was crying and I didn't know what to do. And it was all of that. And the second time one was a bit easier because I was looking to leave anyway. So they kind of did me a little bit of favor. But the third one, I suppose it was because, I was going on leadership courses. I had mentors, everyone believed in me. And so where I was, going up and then to be dropped, again, as I said, it was like being dumped straight after the honeymoon period. I was so lost. I could not understand what to do. I didn't know what to do. And so all I could do was to carry on serving the clients that were reliant on me to say, you still need your help. And so rather than, I looking after myself in terms of, God, I need to find a job, I need to do this, I was just focusing on the customer. And that's one thing that I've found today is actually by showing up and sharing what you've got, people see the value. In fact, and that's what helps, in fact, to boost my confidence to say, if I'm making an impact, that's actually going to be, because it's been boosting my confidence. I need to carry on doing this. And so
Absolutely.
throughout last year as well, I was, just coaching as many businesses and women that I could, because that kept me, it reminded me of what I had rather than what I didn't have. Okay. And
Absolutely.
by just literally showing up and doing what you're good at, that's what kept me going.
Indeed. Some of our listeners, they've left some questions, and I just
Okay.
wanted to ask you, they wanted to know, where do you actually get the strength from, to be able to become this amazing, resilient woman, someone who's been in a corporate life for a long time and then having to kind of pivot, and start with using their expertise really and turn it into a coaching business. How have you been able to actually gain and get the strength that you have today?
Probably from two ways, actually. The first one is from my mom. I mean, she brought 5 kids up by herself as a single parent. And with me being, the youngest daughter and spending a lot of time with her, I think I got her, her inspiration and aspiration of, just doing what she could with what she had, as being a
Yeah.
single parent. And so, by watching her and by spending a lot of time with her, and she always spends her time giving, helping people. So, I've got a lot from my mom as well. When it comes to picking myself up, I mean, I remember times, going to sleep crying because I was thinking, I just don't know what to do. And it all comes down to faith, to
Yeah.
kind of say, if I carry on doing, in karma, if I carry on doing what I'm good at, giving to people that need, then it just comes back. And I think that's what
Absolutely.
kept me going.
Indeed, definitely. What has it been like for you, working in a corporate world for a long time and looking after your children, holding down the household, partnering together with your spouse, what's the impact been like for you, really balancing and managing that? Because it's quite tough sometimes as women. We are always multitasking and juggling so many, elements together: job, career, business, hustle, and being a mother and also showing up powerfully. So what has that
Yeah.
really been like for you, Neeta?
Oh God, it's been quite a challenge actually, and it is all about having the support. Having the support from the family as well as colleagues as well. Because if you've got a manager that understands where you're at, you're going to get that support as well. I mean, for my children, I especially when I was looking for a job when I made redundant, to say, what do you want me to do? Do you want me to be more local, or do you want me to, are you happy with me taking a job where I'm going to be traveling around? Yes, it means we can go on holidays and spend quality time, but what do you actually want? And it was it was quite nice that they actually agreed with me to say, Mom, we like you to do what you're good at. You like your traveling, you like to work for the corporate life. And it means if we can explore the world, then that's great. So that was actually quite nice. But what I've got from my children is that they've grown up, to be their independent selves, great. I mean, my eldest son cooked for me for dinner yesterday, which was great. So, in fact, that's one of the reasons why we had to have an extension on our kitchen, because they loved cooking. And so they've got their independence. Obviously, in fact, they come to me, my my youngest son is going through his A-levels, and he only comes to me for a massage, to kind of release the stress and everything. So for my children, it's been, it's a role model to kind of say, we want to go out, we want to explore the world. And because they can see if you're in a job that, I'm going to say, pays well and everything, and you get all of these perks, that's what they want. Okay, but at the same time, enjoying the experience, and that's the key thing, to say whatever you do, enjoy the experience. And also when they were saying, why don't you just get a proper job? So when I had decided that I wanted to be on my own boss, and obviously I'm working to kind of build it up, it's like, Mum, why don't you just get a normal job? And I was like, that means going back to the corporate world. I don't want to do that. I don't want a 9-to-5 job. I want, what success means to me is that work-life balance. It means, I want to spend time with parents. I want to spend time, doing the self-care, whether it's gardening or, learning. And it's all of those, to say, if I know what success means to me and you can value that, then, if my kids can actually appreciate that, then I'm going to get the support from them as well.
Definitely, indeed, absolutely. I think it's a teamwork, really, bringing up the family and also running your business. It's a real teamwork. It's about having the right network in place. I'm glad you mentioned your mom. Many women really lean on their mom for the support, and also their friends and family to support them, because it's really not easy. And I know what that really feels like as well.
I know my husband's been the biggest supporter at
Absolutely. We just want to celebrate our spouse. We want to celebrate our partners, our husbands. They are just amazing. And without them, I don't think many of us will be able to do a lot of things that we are doing currently. And yes, we definitely salute those wonderful partners in our life. Also, I wanted to know about how you've been able to kind of avoid overwhelm, or perhaps, overcome it, or if you have maybe 1 or 2 tips you can actually share with us of how you've been able to manage overcoming overwhelm, or what you actually do.
Okay. In fact, I've actually put a sheet together, which, we'll put in the links later on, because for me, in a sense, I was my first customer to kind of say, I'm going to say, drink my own champagne. So the advice that I give, I need to be an example for what the advice I give. And so it's all about, what I've found is it's time management and discipline. Okay. But also focus. So if you know what success means to you, you're putting focus on those, where you want to be in 5 years' time, where you want to be in 3 years' time. Okay. So if you know where you want to go, and then every task you do, to say, is this taking me towards my goals? Is it actually, some things you've got to do? You still got to feed the kids, right? But and then that should be a goal in itself anyway. But if you know where you want to go, you're going to be focusing on that. And by setting goals, it makes the invisible visible. Okay, so by setting goals, it's all about task management. In fact, what I say to my customers is, do a brain dump, write everything that you need to do, okay, and actually put them into clusters to kind of say, okay, in order for me to have a steady cash flow, I need to do my expenses, I need to do my tax returns and all of that. And so by looking at your tasks as clusters, suddenly there's more motivation, because you know that if you want a steady cash flow, you're going to need to do all these tasks.
Yeah.
So by doing a brain dump, you get to see what needs to be done, questioning to say, are these working towards my goals? And then also prioritizing them to kind of say, does this need to be done today? What if I don't today? In fact, what if I don't do it at all? What if I give it to somebody else? So you start to question all the tasks. And by doing that, you find that you've probably dropped about 30% of all the things that you needed to do.
Right.
Okay. And so the overwhelmness is basically you're getting involved in too many things, or you're saying yes to too many things. In
Yeah.
fact, where I say you've got a to-do list, why not have a do not to-do list? Yeah, because by doing that, what you're doing is setting boundaries. And
Yes.
that's very crucial to say. If I know what my boundaries are, then I can learn to say no. In fact, I will say no because I know that it's not something that I do. Okay, and
Indeed.
obviously you've got to be a little bit agile. You know, you need that contingency, but 90% of the time, if you want to avoid overwhelmness, then time management, set your boundaries. In fact, what I tend to say to my clients is organize your days. You
Yeah.
know, put your tasks into the kind of brain activity that you need. Okay, so I'm
Mm.
more of a morning person, so I'm more creative in the morning. Okay, so I'll be learning, but at the same time, I'm doing, doing the notes from my coaching meetings. Okay,
Yes.
and then as it goes into the afternoon, I probably do network meetings, which don't require as much brain power. Okay,
Hmm.
so by doing that, you're actually, so my Mondays and Tuesdays are focusing on my coaching. Wednesdays are for doing this. Thursdays is working in skincare. Friday
Yeah.
afternoons, I want those off because hubby has Friday afternoon off and I want to spend quality time with him.
Good.
Okay. And so by scheduling self-care into, we learned about it yesterday, by scheduling self-care into your weekly routine
Mm.
means that you're going to have that downtime. Okay. And the final point I wanted to say, and a lot of people say you've got to journal. What does journaling actually do? What
Yeah.
journaling does is you're writing down what's happened during the day, but actually how it impacted you in terms of how did it make you feel. Okay, I had a meeting. Oh, that got me really excited. It means I can do this and I can do that. Oh, I had a meeting with so and so, and it made me cry. And by writing those emotions down, what you're actually doing is you're allowing your brain to process the activities, the traumas and the excitements of the day. So when you go to bed, you've actually saved your brain a job, and so it's ready to relax. And so part of overwhelmness is to make sure you have that downtime to reflect. Okay, and I think the whole of the pandemic period has been quite a few seasons for people all in
Mm.
one. I had my winter, then I had my autumn where everything just fell apart. Then I had my winter so I could reflect and rebuild myself and learn. And then now spring has come, and so as seasons change, as humans, we also have seasons as well. So it's knowing where you're at, accepting some things that can go down, but by becoming aware of them, you're actually able to assess, this is happening because I need to do this. This is happening because the universe will shake. When I was going through my third redundancy, there were a few signs, okay, but I ignored them. And then suddenly an earthquake happened, I got made redundant, and that's forced the change. Yeah. So by slowing down and actually becoming aware, you can actually notice those signs to say, where is this taking me? You know,
Definitely. I think, you've definitely nailed it with those amazing tips as well. You've mentioned quality time with your partner. That is so important. You've mentioned, giving yourself a break. You've also mentioned how to balance family together and get a good support network there. And also just know when to stop, when to have a break. And these are very important things. I'm just looking at the comment section. I want to say hi to Mina. Thanks for joining us. And she said, focus is good. It helps you to be grounded and determined. You have to see your goal and have that focus. Thank you so much. Absolutely. Indeed. I'm loving the comments coming through there. You've actually worked with Cardbury, and I just wanted to know, how has that been for you, especially being surrounded with some amazing, delicious chocolates? I mean, which one is your favorite out of all the Cardbury?
Oh,
All
Cadbury's
the Cardbury
chocolate.
chocolates.
Yeah. I was just saying, in fact, I was telling someone today, when they're making the rum and raisin chocolate, because you could smell the rum in the air just walking across the factory grounds. Um, I, I like chocolate, alcohol, and nuts, preferably all together. But I do like my dark chocolates. I'm a a dark chocolate kind of girl.
Yeah. Absolutely. Dark chocolate is really healthy, isn't it? Indeed.
Yeah.
Your journey into kind of starting off with your coaching business, how has it been like for you? What challenges have you had to overcome to be in the position that you are today? And if there is any way you've actually overcome it, please do share.
Mm. The challenge is, I mean, first of all, the shift from going from corporate to becoming your
Yeah.
own boss. The biggest one is always the financial security, you
Yes.
know, as well as the private medical. That's probably the biggest thing that I missed, the private medical. But the financial security is the biggest thing that it hits you deep. I mean, I started working since the age of 14. Okay,
Wow.
so I've always worked. You know, even during when I was doing my university, I've always worked. So, during the pandemic, to actually have a time when you're not earning anything, it really hits you. But if I think I said before, if you look at what you've got rather than what you haven't, or what you've achieved, then that actually helps to build that resilience to say, you know what, it's okay. Times will go down, also they'll go up. And so, the financial security was one of them. The other one was and one thing I found was when I was doing all my presentations, I'm talking on stage in front of 400 people and all of that, and running my own workshops, there was a structure. And I remember one of my managers said, you were great in the first 5 minutes, but then afterwards, you didn't see yourself. And I was like, that's because in corporate, they tell you what you have to say. You've got to run a script and everything. And so that was a sign for me to say, when I'm myself, I'm actually standing out. In fact, there's a quote from a gentleman called Andy Harrington: why are you trying to fit in when you're born to stand out? Okay. And so what I actually discovered was when I am myself, when I'm that free spirit of doing what I want, that's when, I shine. And so I want to do more of that. And so the challenge for me was, it's time to let go of all those processes. It's time to let go of almost the structure, and that's almost scary, because it's like bungee jumping, where you've got
Yeah.
no, it's like jumping off a cliff and you're assembling the aeroplane which is about to shoot off, but actually you've got to assemble this plane before you hit rock bottom. And so the other part was decision making. Obviously, by working in the corporate world, some of the decisions are made for you, some of them you've got guidelines, and now you're on your own boss, and it's like, who do I actually, oh my god, I'm going to have to make this decision. And so another thing I've learned is that actually you need 3 types of peer groups. Okay, those that you teach, so this could be your customers, people in your team, those that are in the same level as you, those that you laugh with, and those that you actually look up to, so like your influencers, your mentors. And so by having those 3 types of peer groups, you've actually got a good balance of give and take, but also laughing with as well. Okay. I'd say it has been a change, but because I've always worked from home, I've had that autonomy of, managing my time and everything. So the working environment hasn't changed, but the discipline and the levels of management has been the biggest change. But you are literally thrown out to say, just deal with it.
Absolutely.
And you know what? You deal with it. So yeah.
Indeed. You said something about standing out. I think it's really important for us to be very intentional, for us to be unique. It's so important for us to be unapologetic, because at the same time as well, we can only be authentic. It's important for us to be confident, not try to be nobody else, and just be yourself, because it's quite tiring and very straining for you to continuously try to fit in. You have to stand out, and the only way you can stand out is just to be you, because there isn't nobody else like you. There is just you, and it's important that you embrace who you are, and love who you are, and believe that you have something to offer, because everybody is an asset in their own way. You just have to believe it. So absolutely, I love what you said about standing out and just being yourself, which is truly amazing. In business, what are the main tools that you absolutely enjoy using, and how effective has it been for you?
Tools as in like software, or tools as in like.
Yeah, so tools in terms of coaching tools. So, for example, having a system. What sort of systems have you been able to use to help you with your
Oh,
coaching business to make
okay.
life a lot easier for you? Because often enough, when we start on this coaching journey, some of the challenges in the beginning is not having the right system and the right processes in place. You're having to run and set up a payment process there and set up a funnel there. What have you particularly found to be very useful to help you, tie your coaching business together?
Mm. So the first one was, in order to address the overwhelmness in terms of time management, was to
Yeah,
actually invest in software like Calendly. Okay, so that's something that you can start off for free.
yeah,
Okay, and that allows you to set your own calendar availability.
mm-hmm.
Okay, and so I've got now the pro version because
Yeah,
I want to have different types of meetings for each day.
yeah,
Okay, so if I've got a network meeting, then if you look at my Calendly link for discuss, like what I call a networking introduction chat, it's only available on like Tuesdays and Wednesdays.
yes,
Okay, if when I'm doing my coaching, then they've almost got like a VIP calendar. In which
mm-hmm.
case, if they're working throughout the day and they want to do a Sunday morning, they can do. But actually, they've
Yeah,
got to give me at least 24 hours notice before they do that. And so Calendly has been very powerful to help me with my time management, but also preparation to make sure that I'm prepared, especially when it's a client meeting. And also they've had time to prepare themselves as well. The other one is, my framework in itself has given me a lot of structure
yeah,
because, ooh, I don't know if you can hear the thunder there. The My framework has really helped because it's given me some structure
yeah,
in terms of the processes, and things like how to find your ideal client. There's things that I learned in the corporate world whilst working for IBM that kind of gave
mm,
me that client empathy map to say, what is, people buy from people. People buy with emotion. So how can you help your clients to discover their, the client avatar, their ideal client? And so that's been a very useful tool in itself. And that was founded by a gentleman called Dave Gray. Okay,
okay,
he's got a book called the Connected Companies. And then you find over time that you need software to do your landing pages and everything. And the nice thing out there is that you can actually try the software for free to kind of get you started. And then once you find out which one you're more comfortable with, which one actually suits the way you work, then that's really helped as well. But at the same time, if you find that, in fact, I'm at this stage now, I'm using 3 different types of software tools to kind of help me with my web page to grow my email list. And although I've chosen it, I'm going to choose to delegate it to somebody else because
yeah,
managing the software and everything. And even though I've got the software background, I know, yes, I can do it, but actually I want to focus on helping my clients. Okay. So,
absolutely,
the tools are there. It doesn't mean I have to use them all because I need them for my business, but actually I'm going to delegate it to somebody else. And
yeah,
that actually is another solution for overwhelmness, to say, I want people to focus on what they're good at. People
yeah,
start their business because it's something that they enjoy. It's a skill that they have that they want to share. It doesn't automatically qualify them to run a business. Okay. And therefore, yes, you can do everything yourself, but there'll be a stage where you're actually going to outgrow yourself. So, somebody actually says, if you want to elevate in your business, you have to delegate. And so a part of doing that brain dump of all those tasks that you need to do, start to also assess, am I actually enjoying this? Put it into, if, I know a lot of businesses are relying on government grants. Put it on, if I get that grant, that's the first thing to go. Yeah. So by putting your task to say the priority, but also, do you actually want to continue doing it? Is it something that you want to outsource? Is it something that you want a virtual assistant to do? Okay.
mm,
And as you know, that's the power of virtual assistants. You don't have to hire somebody full time.
yes.
It just needs a couple of hours a week to actually make it affordable, but at least it gets done as well.
Indeed, definitely. What sort of advice would you actually give any woman who is actually looking to start their own business? Perhaps they have been made redundant as well, just like you have, or maybe they're really looking for a way to kind of level up from being in 9 to 5 job and just basically starting a side hustle. What sort of advice would you give to any woman who's actually watching today?
First of all, if they want to have a one-to-one chat with me, I'm certainly open to that. We'll put that link in there. Say, if you get the opportunity to share, look at the kind of people that influence you.
Yeah.
So you need to have, and say that top here, who have people that influence. Why do you follow the people that you follow? Celebrities, yes, but why are you actually following them? And so if you've got influencers, reach out to them. Because surprisingly or not, they will be actually quite privileged to say, I've got a follower that actually wants to learn from me. Okay. And they don't have to be celebrities. I mean, when I reached out to, even though she said she was too busy, I took that uncomfortable action of saying, in the consultancy business, we always shadowed each other. It was our way of learning. It was the hands-on way of learning. Okay. Also, because I don't like to sit down and just read. I want to be doing, and that's the way I learn. So also it depends on the kind of person you are and how you actually learn. But when you want to start your own business, it is, looking at other people, but not in terms of comparison, to kind of say, because the moment you start comparing yourself to somebody else, that can be quite, depressing. But you look at it in the sense of, okay, I really like what Hannah's done. Okay, she's got her own podcast, absolutely fantastic. How can I learn from her? Okay, and so when you're starting your business, look at your mentors, okay, and reach out to men. And also, I know Jay Shetty says that your mentors don't have to be living people, okay, or someone that you need to meet face to face. There's enough out there for you to learn, to say, what did they do to help them? Okay, and the biggest thing is, don't overthink it. Just do it. If you're not embarrassed of your version 1, then you started too late. Okay?
Yes.
By putting something out there, getting some feedback, then you just evolve. And life is for about ever learning. Don't people say everyone's got a lot of people have got a fixed mindset. Well, I want to change that fixed mindset into a growth mindset. To kind of say, tell you the truth, when I was working, before I got first made redundant, we were having redundancies every 6 months. So I survived for 10 years. And I was told the reason why I survived is because I was willing to accept new ways of working, willing to learn. And so that's what you need when you're starting your own business. There will be challenges to kind of say, you need to know this, you need to keep up to date with social media, you need to put posts on social media, and all of those things come up to kind of say, well, what actually works for you? Okay, so when you're starting your own business, to say, in fact, I go back to, I don't know if you heard of the Ikigai model. Okay, so that's kind of helping you to find your passion, to say, what am I good at? What does the world need? What can I be paid for? And what skills do I have? Okay.
Yes.
So when you start your own business, are you actually solving a problem for somebody that needs it? Does the world actually need what you're having to offer? Okay. And so if there's a problem or desire that you're actually fulfilling, then that's basically, you're in the right direction. After that, it is a case of just getting out there and doing it.
Definitely, indeed. Yes, absolutely. Thank you so much for those amazing tips and strategies that you've been able to use, and also, support your clients with as well. I am so excited for today's amazing show. You've been an amazing guest. Thank you so much for coming on. It's really a pleasure. Just as we round up, just tell us how our audience can actually reach you. How can they be in touch with you?
So I hang out on LinkedIn. I'm going to say I do have an Instagram account, but I'm probably not as active as I should be. So LinkedIn tends to be the place I hang out. And I've also got my website as well. On LinkedIn, it will take you to my webpage where you can obviously book a discovery call with me. And in fact, on Instagram as well, if you go onto my bio, that will take you to a link which will take you to those, what I call my 11 essential questions that every business owner must ask themselves if they want to continue in business. And that's going about becoming aware of themselves, making sure that they are actually looking after themselves.
Fantastic. So I've been able to leave all your contact details in the comment section there for our listeners to be in touch with you. Also, just last words of inspiration to many of our audiences, just to inspire them as we round up the podcast. A word of inspiration and encouragement.
There's a few things actually. One of them is, don't be perfect, just be real.
Yeah.
Yeah. A few quotes that I kind of wrote down is one from John Gordon, who says, "We don't get burnt out because of what we do. We get burnt out because we forget why we do it." And then Simon Sinek, who says, just got it here, "People don't buy what you do, they buy why you do it." There you go.
Indeed. I love that. The last one that you said. And I just want to say, I absolutely love what you do.
Thank you very much.
Absolutely.
Likewise.
Thank you so much, Neeta, for coming on the show. It's a real pleasure to have you. Thanks for really inspiring many of our audiences today. And we would love to continue to wish you all the very best in your career and your amazing coaching services as well that you offer to many people in business as well. So thank you so much for being on the show. How has the experience been for you, being on the Birth Your Vision podcast show?
It's been, I think I said at the start, it was very relaxing. From the moment we met, you made it really, comfortable for me. In fact, you didn't make me cry this time, so that was good. Telling you my story was quite emotional. So it was nice to be able to give and actually share. And I think that's the power of it. So thank you for making it comfortable, for making it smooth. And and all I can say for you is to carry on what you're doing, because it's certainly given me a buzz. It's helping me to see what I want to do, how I want to grow, because it's all about, we're helping our clients grow, but we also need to look at ourselves and say, what can I do differently? What can I do better? And so it's given me the opportunity to do that as well. So thank you very much.
Absolutely. Thank you so much. And to all our amazing viewers, if you want to actually use your message to make a difference and to impact the world, you want to share your message with the world, then I've got an amazing opportunity for you to join me on my 6 weeks online coaching program to help you start your own podcast show as well. So go into the link and obviously book yourself a session, and we'll start talking from there. So thank you so much, everyone. Thanks for joining us. And we will see you next week on another wonderful episode with another incredible guest. So take care and have a great evening. Stay blessed. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Anna. And thank you to the listeners.